Peace and bliss. Welcome back to Reclaiming Our Roots. My name is Tanya, and I just wanted to pop in and give you all a quick update on the container garden. Yes, it is still alive and well. I have been focusing most of my attention as of late at the farm. As many of you all know, that I have expanded our growing operation this year. We farm at a community farm. I will link some of the videos to what we do over there and at the end of this video. So without further ado, I'm going to start with this beautiful, beautiful fig tree, who I affectionately call Mrs. Piggy. As you can see, she is just as green and lush. She is starting to experience some yellow leaf. Excuse me. She's starting to experience some issues with yellow leaf. I'm thinking maybe she has a nitrogen deficiency. I do not know. I did check the soil. It is damp, so there's no issue with watering on that front. And she's starting to put on some figs, as you can see here. I am so pleased about that. So yeah, she's looking good. She's thriving, and we hope to be able to harvest some figs by the end of the summer. And down here is my basil plant that has died and revived itself. I have harvested from this little plant. It has made us so much pesto. I literally come out the front door and grab a handful. And looking good. I'm gonna have to prune it. But you can see here, some of the leaves are starting to come back. And over here in this container, I have 3 okra plants, and I have 2, I believe these are the Advarsky plants, peppers, that I absolutely love. I use those peppers for stuffing, and I use okra for everything. Eating fresh. I love eating raw okra, making okra soup, and recently learned of okra tea. So I can't wait to try that. But it is thriving, looking gorgeous and green and lush. And down here, this is rue. This is not a culinary herb. It is great for, I believe, skin irritations. So I will be drying some of this out. It's also supposed to be pretty good for insect repellent. So, and down here, you can see my calendula plants are on their last leg. I may harvest some of these buds here and make an oil out of those. As you all know, or you may not know, calendula is very good for the skin. Okay, and around here, you can see we have more basil, and we have purple basil, and more basil, and here we have pineapple sage, more basil, more pineapple sage, and more basil. I've been using the pineapple sage for tea, which is really good, and making pesto with the basil. Actually, I'm going to harvest some basil because I'm going to make some, eggplant parmesan. And you'll see why, because I have some eggplants out here that are ready to be harvested. And here I have 2 fatale peppers that are coming along nicely. And here I have a tomato plant that I'm concerned about. I'm starting to think that this plant is sterile. There's not one bud on this plant. I may pull it up. I'm gonna give it another week or 2. Have more tomato plants here. Here we have a German queen. Still no buds on this one. May end up pulling that one up. And over here we have a cherry plant, cherry tomato plant. We've been harvesting cherry tomatoes off of that one. And here I have a zucchini plant. My zucchini plants this year have not done well at all. I have pruned this plant several times to create airflow. It hasn't put on any fruit, but as I mentioned in previous videos, we are having an issue with pollinators, so I'm having to pollinate them manually. So I may end up pulling that one up, but I'm having the same issue with the other one as well. And here we have a pepper plant that is starting to put on fruit. You can see it here. Let me go back so I don't look it down too far. I'll just try to do side to side. I have another tomato plant here. As you can see, starting to put on fruit. Some flowering here. And have another pepper plant here. I don't know the name. This is a sweet banana plant we have here. Again, slow to put on buds. This is pepper season. It has been really hot here in the DMV. So they are starting to thrive. And I have 2 tomatoes here. I believe this is the Jet Star. And over here are our sweet potatoes. And you can see they have vined out along the containers. And over here, I spy eggplant. So I will be harvesting that baby today. Because like I mentioned, we will be having eggplant parmesan tonight for dinner. And this here is another cherry tomato. And over here we have another plant. As you all can see, remember I mentioned in a prior video that I was concerned with the tomato plants at the farm, how they're slow to grow, but these are just thriving. They're so green and lush, but they are slow to put on buds. So I don't know what's going on this year. I really don't. And over here I just have, this has blew my mind. It's a little plant here to bring in the pollinators. Zucchini. You can see there's little small zucchini starting to bloom. I'm gonna thin this out a little bit. And over here is our shishito plant. It is loaded with peppers. I have harvested so many shishito peppers off of this plant. I absolutely love them. Stir fry, they're absolutely delicious. And back here, some entanglement here, as you can see. Look at those huge marconis. I believe these are the red marconis. And I am just pleased with their size. They're like gigantuous. Look at that. I can't wait to try those. Great stuffing pepper. Putting on more fruit here. And here we have another tomato plant. It's putting on fruit. Red pepper plant, waiting for it to bud. Likewise with this sweet banana plant. And over here is one of my garden favorites. This is eggplant. This is the Black Beauty. Let me stand over on this side so you can get. Look at that. I will be harvesting this baby today. I'm gonna let that one remain on the vine a little longer so it can get a little bigger. And this here is another tomato plant. And as you all can see, this is my beautiful hot mess butter squash plant that extends down to like 5 or 6 containers. And I just trellised it along the cages. I think I only have like three fruits on this plant. This one is starting to yellow. I have one back there, and I have one coming on the vine. So if I get 3, I will be pleased. I will be pleased. And we have banana pepper here that I will probably harvest today. And over here, believe it or not, is a squash plant that I'm going to do an experiment and trellis it in the cage. And actually, this is this a crucial? I think this may be, no, this is not a crucial plant. This is a, I think it's a crookneck. I have another pepper plant here, another squash plant here. And we have this big kahuna here. Look at that. Isn't that like one of the largest eggplants you've seen? This is the Ichiban variety. I have 2 Ichiban varieties. This one and the one down on that end. And over here, new to the garden, is sweet corn. Yes. I am growing sweet corn for the first time. in containers. This is the gold. I think it's called Sweet Gold. I'll put the name of the variety in the description box. But it's looking good. I replaced, because I grew, remember, I grew, what is it, potatoes, the Yukon Golds in these containers. So I replaced it with the corn. And over here, what do we have going here? We have another squash plant here. And down here, boom, we have another eggplant that I will be harvesting today. This is the Sicilian variety, which are the round varieties. Putting on another bloom here. And over here we have the Black Prince tomatoes. They're coming along nicely. I cannot wait to harvest some potatoes, guys. More of the corn. In here, these are the 2 blueberry bushes that have run their course. I will be doing some pruning on these. And here's my elephant ear plant, along with my key lime and my Maya lemon trees that I will be uppotting. Let me bring you all along for that. And over here is my beloved Rosemary and Thyme that I absolutely love, that it blows my mind every time I come out here. It gets bushier and bushier. By far, one of my favorite 2 herbs. And this here's a pot of lilies that is only, it's not doing a whole lot of anything. And we have another container of corn here. And these are the empty containers for potatoes. Still haven't decided. I'm in the early throes of planting a fall garden. I haven't put out any seeds, but I will. And I'm going to plant them on my green, if you can, I don't know if you all can see it or not, on the deck, on the balcony up there. I'm going to put it on the greenhouse trays instead of wasting energy indoors and putting them under the heat lights. Put them outside. And this is the apple tree, guys, that survived that nasty storm we had. As you can see, there's still a lot of tree debris here. We called a homeowner association, so they should be sending someone out. Should have sent someone out a week ago, actually 2 weeks ago, to pick this up. So someone should be out this week. I'm gonna send the landscapers out for that. As you can see, the chocolate mint starting to putter out on this tree. What I'm gonna do is just come out here one day and just prune it down, give it some loving care. I will be harvesting herbs, drying out herbs this week. I think I will bring you all along for that. And here is the Granny Smith tree that sustained damage during the storm. I tied it with some twine here, but I do have a compound indoors, and it's my attempt to graft this tree back to the original stump. So I will bring you all along for that. And I'm going to prune off the dead leaves there. And in the grow bag, we have three plants of corn. Okay, 3 little stalks of corn there. Oh boy, this is just really disappointing. By this time, I should be harvesting onions. Oh my gosh. What overzealousness will get you. Nothing. So, but hey, you live and you learn. So, rest in peace to the superstar and candy onions. They will make a comeback next year. Rest assured of that. So we'll see what the corn does in place. And here I had to pull up a squash plant that we had here. It just died, a lack of a pollination. I was manually pollinated. I harvest maybe 2 squash off that plant, but most of the buds, because I've been busy, couldn't keep up with the manual pollination. Most of the squash were like dead on arrival, so they would die off. So I just pulled the plant out. And here is a beautiful hot mess of lemon balm Oh my gosh, if you were to stand by here and just smell this plant. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. So good. Wish you all we had television. You all can smell it. It smells so good. So I will be harvesting some lemon balm off of this one. So that's about it, guys. Not much to see here. Season's starting to dwindle down slowly but surely. My mindset is in planning for the fall, thinking of what we're going to grow this year. The list is growing, and yeah, so this is where we are. Oh my gosh, I really need to harvest. I need to cut this like right now. I may clip. I forgot to bring out my pruners so I can harvest these. So I'll just add it to the end of this video. Look at that. Look at that. So yeah, so that's how the garden stands as of today. See that mess back there? Oh, it's a beautiful mess. Yummy, yummy, yummy. So yeah, so this is where we are in the garden. And I had to pull this squash plant up as well because again, a lack of pollination, and it just died. Yep. So that's the extent of the container garden. I won't even bother showing you all the balcony because most of the herbs are starting to dry out. And what's left, I will be drying those out tomorrow. Like I said, I may bring you all along for that. This is my first year drying the herbs because normally I put them in the oven. But they preserve better when you allow them to dry because they retain a lot of their richness. So, yes, we're going to do that this year. Okay. Alrighty. Well, that concludes this garden tour. I want to thank you all for taking the tour with me. Welcome, new subscribers. Glad to have you here. Hope you all are having a wonderful time in your gardens. I see you all are doing some really great things. I just salivate every time I watch a harvest, especially those tomato harvests. I absolutely love tomatoes, and I can't wait to start harvesting at the farm our tomatoes. So yeah, until the next video, peace and